The objectives of project number 2 are to select an appropriate outline which allows listeners to easily follow and understand your speech. Make your message clear with supporting material directly contributing to that message. Use appropriate transitions when moving from one idea to another. Create a strong opening and conclusion. Toastmaster Roger, you have 5 to 7 minutes to achieve these objectives.
Grief is experienced in many different ways. It is often said it comes in waves and affects people in very different forms. Grief can be defined as deep sorrow, especially that caused by someone's death. Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Have you ever experienced someone dying twice? Have you ever had to grieve with the same person twice? Well, I have. The best way I have heard grief described was in this way. When the person was speaking about the loss of a longtime friend, I feel as though a piece of me has died with them. I can feel my heart actually hurting. Grief exists only in the context of a relationship. You can only generally feel the pain and torment of another's loss if you have a relationship with the one who has died. The longer the relationship has existed, the more overwhelming the grief can be. In 1979, 9.5 months of carrying a heavy load, Valerie released the load by giving birth to Andre. Even though she released the load, the two were inseparable. Valerie would wipe from his head to toes, nose, ears, mouth, and bottom. She cared for him without end. She wanted the best for him always and did everything in her power to ensure that she could protect him, yet prepare him to be able to someday stand on his own feet. Their bond was like no other. They could communicate telepathically, always spoke the same language, and seemed to laugh in sync. It was not always a bed of roses, but even in the times of disagreement, upset, and anger, they knew those emotions only exist because of the underlying love that was at play. The love was unconditional as well as limitless. Valerie showed Andre how to love hard, head first while still being strong and in control. She taught him to be a fighter and how to be self-sufficient as much as possible. Lessons he never discarded. The first death. In 2005, while a student at UE, Andre and Valerie had a routine. They would share the vehicle, and she would take the vehicle to him so that he could make it to class on time. She was always on time, perhaps one lesson Andre never fully grasped. However, knowing that she was always on time when she arrived late 3 consecutive evenings, he knew something was amiss. He then started documenting his mother's mood changes and at times out of character behavior, while family members tried to convince him that she was just perhaps entering menopause. The bond that they had developed told him otherwise. Later that year, she was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at a tender age of 48. It was highly aggressive, and the next 10 years, Andre watched Valerie slowly die. By 2011, Valerie was Valerie, yet wasn't Valerie. She was no longer a building. All Andre had was memories of years gone by, and they couldn't make any more. At least she would not be conscious of the new memories they would have been making. His heart was grieving, yet he continued to shower her with love she had showed him. The tables were now turned, and he had to be her ears and eyes. He had to protect her. He had to care for her. He became the parent. While he was glad he could do this for the woman who brought him into this world, he felt a big sense of loss for the woman he had become a child. He grieved for the loss of his mother in that sense. Valerie was no longer there. Yet in many aspects, she was there. She fought a long, hard battle of being stuck in her own body. He sometimes felt she was also grieving because she could see herself being helpless. His fiancée had many scares, where she thought that perhaps Valerie had passed away. Even though she was just there after a while, being alive still gives hope. Hope that things can get better. On the days when she seemed unresponsive, she would respond to his voice in her own way, and that provided comfort during the times of grief. The first grief was therefore a grieving for a woman he used to know. I used to know, for I am Roger Andre. The second death and grief. A Sunday morning, as I was sitting in church, I felt ill. I thought to myself, I should have grabbed something to eat on my way to church from work. I sat, the pit got worse in my stomach, so I decided to get a glass of water from the fountain. While I was standing at the fountain, my phone vibrated in my pocket. I looked at the caller ID, and it said, Green Tree, Mom. All the years of grief culminated in one massive grief on January 10th, 2016, 9 days before her 59th birthday, when she closed her eyes permanently. It was hard because this meant that I would never be able to hear her voice again. She had lost the ability to speak around 2011, and ever since then, I had hoped to merely hear her utter a word or two. As this hope was crushed, my heart became grieved. I could not see how I could continue with life. A piece of me had also died. However, the bond we had lasted even after death. I always say that Mom, knowing me, made it easy for me to decide which day the funeral should be. Closing her eyes 9 days before her birthday led me to one conclusion. She wanted to be buried on the very day she made her debut. To my mind, this was my mother's way of saying, I haven't been myself for the past decade, but I will do my last act as a mother and help you make a decision. The tighter the bond, the greater the grief. But at the same time, the very bonds that cause grief can also bring comfort. This is the amazing thing about something so dark as grief. It comes and it goes. It is not permanent. After grief, a smile can come. This is a comfort found in grief and bonds. Those masterpieces.
And bonds. That was the number 2 speech